Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. You know what you're doing. You're making Gotham great again. One of the great ways you can support this show is go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you get to submit an article or a topic at the $5 level, like Nicholas M Thompson did. Nicholas, thank you so much for supporting the show. Mass invasion, Russian islands in state of emergency as hotter planet drives polar bears to hunger. Since December, residents of the Novaya Zemlya archipelago have spotted more than 50 bears who are chasing people and entering residential buildings. This was in Common Dreams. This is pretty crazy. This is one of the things we need to address. There's so many aspects to what society is going to look like as our climate continues to collapse if we don't do anything about it. We've talked about climate refugees, like human beings displaced. We've seen that, I mean, even in the United States, when Katrina and these big hurricanes have hit, it's changed people's moving. I mean, there's areas that are still uninhabited. This is for all of the Gulf states have had this. There's still areas in the Gulf states that have damage in them from any number of hurricanes since Katrina. There was one of the things that exacerbated the civil war in Syria was a massive drought for about 5 years. So all the people living out in the rural areas in Syria couldn't make a living working in agriculture, so they moved into the cities and there was no jobs, and that helped make the situation worse. So, you know, this is already happening. One of the other things is the animal kingdom, right? So we've seen this in certain areas where I'm keenly aware of this as a surfer, where sharks have been, there's been more shark attacks because they've come closer to shore because their food source, there's not as much as their food source out in the deeper water ocean. So they're coming closer to shore because we're poisoning the oceans. As the polar ice caps melt, polar bears are coming into cities. As human activity continues to drive the climate crisis that is causing rapid ice loss at both poles and in other cold regions, destroying the habitats of animals who live there, Russian islands in the Novaya Zemlya archipelago have declared a state of emergency. A mass invasion of dozens of starving polar bears who have been chasing people and entering residential buildings. If they don't have a food, there's a food chain out there in Mother Nature. And when we keep messing with it, this is what happens. We're going to build a wall to keep out the Russian polar bears. Did Putin send those polar bears? Oh, I bet you Rachel Maddow will get to the bottom of this. As Lynn Greengrass, director of the UK-based Born Free Foundation, told CNN last year, polar bears are reliant on seals for food, and seals rely on sea ice. Global warming is melting the ice, so it has a chain reaction of how polar bears can survive. Did anyone even think of that when the ice was melting, that polar bears were going to be invading? They don't want to go through garbage and attack human beings. They want to eat seals. That's the... Look at this tweet from the Siberian Times. Look at this. This isn't an apartment complex. This is a kid's playground. This is a garbage dump where they're all feeding. This is just coming up somebody's back porch. There's a dog. Polar bear invasion has 50 wild animals besiege remote town and chase people. State of emergency. Locals are told they cannot shoot endangered species scavenging for food at a local camp. February 10th. I don't know. What's it going to take for people to wake up? We've had flooding in Manhattan. We've had a hurricane. I mean, what's it going to take? I mean, I've seen in Los Angeles, I've seen mountain lions come down here that they had to shoot with tranquilizer darts because their food sources. Resident schools and kindergartens are submitting numerous oral and written complaints demanding to ensure safety in the settlement. The The statement continued, the people are scared, they are frightened to leave homes, and their daily routines are broken. Parents are afraid to let children go to school or kindergarten. And there's going to be a million little things like this that are going to go, oh my God, who foresaw this coming? Because the ecosystem is a very delicate house of cards that we are collapsing. We need a Green New Deal. Not a watered down Pelosi, Chuck Schumer one, but a real one that addresses all of this. Because the little things like this kind of stuff is going to keep, this is going to affect farmers, agriculture, you name it, man. Pesticides, oh, we got to kill so the bees die, so now we don't have pollen. I mean, on down the line. Got to deal with it. Thank you, Nicholas M. Thompson, for bringing this to our attention. And thank you for supporting the show. Like, subscribe, share the videos, comments, all of those YouTube tracks, all that stuff. Watch the ads all the way through. Do not click skip ad. I don't get paid. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. And, of course, see me on the road. I'm headlining in Chicago, February 21st through March 2nd. And Ron Placone and I are going to the Gulf States, March 10th through the 13th. Get your tickets now. Lafayette, Louisiana on March 10th. Oxford, Mississippi on March 11th. Pensacola, Florida on March 12th. And Big Easy, baby, March 13th. We're going to New Orleans. Get your tickets now at GrahamElwood.com. Thank you for watching, and you are all making Gotham great again.